It tickles. He's getting camera shy. It really is something special for a bee to come and cleanse you. They're really, really powerful, intelligent creatures with just really unique sound healing abilities. You know, even whenever they're crawling on you, there's still a part of them that's still vibrating. You know, cleaning the evil eye ring right now, making sure that we can all stay protected, you know? I still remember the very first time that I was able to face my fear of bees and really understand their medicine. You know, they're such powerful workers, very, very determined, so skillful, but also just like anomalies, right? I have a few engineers in my family, and, you know, they would tell me about how their anatomy doesn't make sense for flight. And I was probably, I was in elementary school whenever I first connected with the bee, you know, faced that fear. And I used to sit in this magnolia tree in our side yard. And of course, whenever those flowers bloom, it's just covered in bees. It was really, really getting in there. And are you almost ready? Oh. It's like time to get your hair. Okay. Do your thing. But yeah, and so I loved sitting in that tree so much, truly. And I remember growing up, people always telling me to be afraid of the bee. And the longer I sat in that tree with all these bees buzzing around, you know, I felt that fear. But even at such a young age, I asked myself, like, am I even actually scared right now? Like, they don't really even seem to care that I'm here. And so, you know, I just sat and I observed them, and it was one of those things. I was like, yeah, no, they're just as curious about me as I am about them, you know? And so it was that projected fear from the people in my life. It just flew into the camera. And now it's on the water. Do you want to come hang out again? And we'll, yeah? I said no, we're gonna clean the water bottle. I got another bee behind me. I wanted to come back, clean my nails. And I remember a bee landed on me, and I could feel that adrenaline rush of, you know, my mind telling me, you know, swat it away, get it off. It's gonna sting you. And so I was just like, okay, I recognize and I honor this. Oh my God, it tickles. It tickles so much. There's another bee somewhere about, it's just right down there. And but it was that projected fear from everybody else around me, their fear for my safety, perhaps based off of one of their past experiences of being stung and it hurting. And the only time that I've ever been stung by a bee was one had flown up the basketball shorts that I was wearing, and my friend freaked out and slapped me in the leg, and of course the bee stung me, and I was, not gonna lie, really upset with him. Do you want to come hang out with us? Can y'all hear the other one buzzing? And I remember just crying for that bee that had stung me, because I knew its life was over. I knew that was it for that bee. And it was such an unnecessary death. The bee was just doing its thing. I wasn't inconvenienced by it. I honestly, quite frankly, felt really honored that bee felt so safe to take a little bit of a reprieve and use me as that little resting post, not unlike what's happening right now. This bee is nourishing itself, but, it's also taking a break from, flying around. And ever since I was a kid, I've just been so fascinated by the bees and just insects in general. And the bee definitely initiated me into a new kind of curiosity, being able to observe these winged insects. Thank you, friend. The ones that can sting us, the ones that our mind tells us are going to harm us, or that are an inconvenience whenever they're building their nests in our doorways, or, coming close, into our space. And it's one of those things, like, they're just as curious about us as we are there. And who am I to say that this bee, for example, is actually out to harm me? Very often, it is one of those things that when a bee comes to me, I'm like, okay, what are you here to share with me? What are you here to tell me? What message do you have for me? Or is it simply that you're just wanting to connect? That there's something, I don't know, energetic going on there. I have no idea what's going on in the mind of that bee in its totality. I do have an ability to communicate with the animal worlds, but every time something like that happens, I am left in awe. And I'm not gonna lie, my ego's like, I am the chosen one. But it really is so special, and I've been really fortunate to be able to develop this relationship with insects and, animals and whatnot. And even more fortunate to be able to help a lot of my friends and other people to traverse their fear, and, help them recognize that it was a fear instilled in them from, an adult or somebody else. Got, what is that ash on my face? And, I do honor those experiences whenever people have been stung or chased by a colony of bees and whatnot. But bees really, really do well at reading energy. And there have been times where, my mind is really loud, that I'm in a really angsty place, or, that adrenaline is really building up around, some kind of circumstance or whatever. And then a bee comes, and it's a reminder for me to, like, okay, we need to calm down, because this bee may perceive my emotions right now as me feeling threatened by them, and then they may feel threatened by me and take action like they're designed to do, Anyways, how special. And that's it for now. I talked way longer than I was expecting. I was just gonna show y'all the bee. Anyways, there's that. Bye.